Our first moderator, the person who's going to be getting together this session, is Mr. Soma Sujeevan TK. He is a motivational speaker, a leader, and most notably, a certified trainer for mentoring new leaders. His mantra is, excellence is for everyone. An exemplary mentor with experience of over 25 plus years, having essayed to perfection leadership roles at major organizations like Manappuram Finance, Polaris Software, McDonald's, IMR Global, ITDC, and the NTC. He has several awards and accolades to his name and is a name to reckon with in human resources. With no further ado, please welcome onto the stage Mr. Soma Sujeevan, our moderator for the first panel discussion. And moving on to our very interesting speakers for this session who will be joining Mr. Soma Sujeevan for the discussion. Mr. Philip Samuel, founder of INDFRAG 2019, he actually started this business to extract the essence of natural flowers to be used in fine perfumery. He then moved on to plant extracts for health and nutrition after having seen exemplary success in his career. With an intention of wanting to give back to the community, he is actively encouraging new venture ideas and is passionate about entrepreneurship at all levels. With no further ado, I'd like to request our speaker to kindly join us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Philip Samuels. Our next distinguished speaker for this panel discussion will be Revathy Sivakumar. She runs a play school, a preschool, a daycare center, after-school activities and training center for nursery, kindergarten and Montessori teacher training programs. It is under the banner of Go Bananas. Through her school, she tries to integrate special children with hearing and speech impairment to learn and interact along with regular children in a mainstream environment. Also an active inner wheel member of the Chennai Presidency Club for the last 5 years, she also runs a boutique which helps women entrepreneurs buy and sell their products, helping them develop a successful business and means of livelihood. Such a distinguished panel that we have today, so we're going to have a very, very interesting discussion to look forward to. We'd like to welcome once again Mr. Philip Samuels and Revathy ma'am, and Mr. Soma Sujeevan is going to be our moderator for the session.
Welcome to this interesting panel. After the beautiful and enlightening talk by the energetic speakers. And I will just, already introduction is not required, but already introduced. So my first question goes to Philip Samuel. And when we talked about the challenges one faces in building an organization, in building a society, in building a nation, you have played a major role, overall role in the total leadership. When we talk about the circle of success, success is not one peg of it, it's a total peg of it. Complete dimension of success. And I would like to hear from you the number one challenge you faced when you are building the complete circle of success in your area of specialization. And audience has specifically asked for you to narrate the initial start, and then how did you rise above the clouds and how you came to the top level of the leadership circle of success. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. I thank the organization and Pravina. Of course, like somebody else said, I was forced to wear a tie in Madras, but that's fine. There are many, many challenges that you face, and it's difficult to say which is the biggest. But I'd like to tell you something about my career, a brief before I say something. I started working, like somebody said, I think it was Nachi, or the previous person who said that academically he was poor, and the same with me also. I could never score high marks in school and college. I just managed to scrape through. And in engineering, unfortunately, I failed the last year, and then I wrote in September, as you know, I'm a September guy. So all that was there. So that sort of taught me that failure is not a problem. I mean, if you're not in the top of the class, it's not a problem. I mean, it doesn't drain your confidence about life. Then I started as an unpaid apprentice in a government tool room, and then I went on to maintenance job. I'm actually a mechanical engineer in a small company in Ambattur. And after that, I got a break in the Murugappa group where I went into sales first and then to projects. And then when they wanted to groom me up to become a bigger man in the company, and they said, you have to become a trainer and you go to the training department. Worked in the training department for a year, which I did not really like because I was like the dreamer said, the first speaker when I was sitting, you dream big and then you are not comfortable training people, in a training department, which is like I'm not a professor or a lecturer. So I then quit and went to join a Tamil Nadu government organization, TITCO, which was promoting, new projects and new ventures, identifying, tying up foreign collaborations and then handing it over to the private sector. One of the most famous projects of TITCO was Titan, which was handed over to the Tatas after we identified Then staying on too long in the government is a problem. Then you slow down in everything. So I left the government after 2 years and worked in a private company, and I was a project manager there, and I suggested new projects. So I got involved in, we don't call them startups those days, but I got involved in starting up something new many times, Don't stick to some, but you keep on. So I left that company and then started a consultancy for identifying new kind of ideas, and in the medium sector scale, not small scale, it was a 3 crore at that time in 1970s, And then I worked as a consultant to identify new projects, tying up foreign collaborations, and then leaving it to the entrepreneurs to take it over and then run it. This gave me a good experience. And in 1987, I was given an opportunity. It's a very funny story. It'll take a long time to tell you, but I became a startup. I shifted from consultancy to being an entrepreneur, This was the first challenge, You go in business class, you go in 5-star hotels, but now you have to go by bus or train, and then you have to, because your money drains out very fast. This is the first challenge, that in a startup, in an enterprise, in the beginning, money just goes very fast. So you have to be very, very careful what you spend. That would be my first challenge. And then the second was, it was a very nice, very good project. It was export oriented, it was agro based. I thought I've got a lovely idea, approached State Bank of India. 3 months later, they rejected my proposal. So I was just stuck with no money in my pocket, and then a little family. And then I said, never give up something which, this is a great lesson I learned from a mentor, I would say, a person who was working in State Bank long back, and somebody said, go and approach him, he knows State Bank. So I said, okay, what can he do? I've got a rejection letter in my hand. Then they said, no, go to him. Then I went to him, and he was a big man in State Bank long back, a retired man. He heard my story. It's a very good project. Philip, don't ever think that a bank gives a green light or a red light. Always a financier or a bank or a funder gives whatever he tells you is amber. It can be turned to green, yellow, if you want. So never think it's red. If you assumed it's red, that's a mistake, This is the first challenge. All of you startups and entrepreneurs, never take no as a red signal. It's an amber signal. You only have to go and try again. So we both went to the State Bank, and one day we talked to the general manager, and he was so interested in my project, and he said, why did they reject it? And then he called the officers, we all sat down, everybody was so happy. Next week it was sanctioned, the loan was sanctioned. So this is a challenge that I had, the convincing a bank. Those days the banks were the only funders, now you have private equity, angels, venture capitalists, everybody. But those days it was. So I would say that was a big challenge in the beginning. Then later, when you start the company, you have various challenges. I don't know how long I have to speak.
No, I will come back to you. We can
Okay.
talk about the
So,
latest development.
shall we
I'll
pause
also-
now?
Yeah, you can go. Yeah, now we have this teacher, very, very inspiring teacher. I had been to her school, Bananas. And you will be surprised at the evening night also. She takes care of very young kids from 6 months to around 16 years. And she knows the entire psychology of them, also their parents. And all the while, you should appreciate her. She is from Telugu, Andhra Pradesh. When she came here, she had nothing. And she started her first job with 80 rupees salary. And then later on, she had to take 1 day leave, and that was the end of her job. And luckily for her, one of the students, their parents took her to another school, and she got a 800% salary increase those days. And now she runs the schools. It is so beautiful, it is so lovely, and she's been loved by the entire community in and across. And she does many other social services. Many people are employed by her. She's an amazing story. And I was talking to her, she was saying about the long, huge stage presence here. I said, these are all our people, and we recognize merit, and we want the complete circle of success. Now over to Revathy Sivakumar. Please tell our audience are keen to listen to you.
Good afternoon. So much thankful to Madam Praveena, who just brought me here and gave this very good opportunity to get recognized, at least among ourselves. And thankful to Sajivan sir, who sat with me for 4 hours, which I have not done to anyone so far. And it was such a nice, nostalgic this thing that how he brought back such good memories, how from scratch I'm here now. It is challenging. See, initially, I thought if I have my own school, I can do A, B, C, D, whatever it is. But the government had a lot of issues in giving recognitions. And today, I can say that I am really proud that only the one play school, preschool, which has got government recognition is only Go Bananas. But for that, a lot of stress, a lot of this thing I have undergone. But everything, because if we have to reach, set a goal and we have to work towards it, we have to work very hard. That's what I learned. Then I understood learning doesn't happen with kids just by being very strict and a strict officer. Never. You cannot force them. You cannot beat them or be strict with them. You have to be very kind, and you need to be really loving them, appreciating them. Then now and then keep, hugging them. And the child in your heart, you must keep it alive. Don't think that you're 60 and you ask a 6-month-old child to be 60. Never, it doesn't happen. You have to be with them, play with them, hug them, kiss them, love them. And the learning happens like that because a child just starts walking. Then we need to, when the child stands up itself, we say, oh my God, come on, walk, put one step up, come down. And then we hold the child so nicely. Then training, a lot of training is involved because we have a staff who have come from different, situations. Maybe they have lot of emotions when at home. When they come here, we first tell them that forget all your sadness there at home. Leave every emotion at home. Come here, be cheerful, be with the child, talk with the children, and be continuously. The 3 hours the child is with you. After that, it goes home. So the daycare is for me from morning 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. As Sajivan sir said, even late night, sometimes 8:30 also they come, but we don't tell the parents, sir, sir, late avanting. We don't tell like that because they will start calling us from 7:45 itself and say, ma'am, inne konja late. It's okay, sir, take care. So like that, you have to be very flexible and a lot of things. How do I?
No, madam, you can talk about, when the difficult children sometimes come, how you have introduced the orientation program. First they will be going for a 1 week kind of thing. How they have been, parents are liking it.
Yes, yes. Nice, thank you so much for reminding me that. Because see, children, when they walk, they push the child who is walking in front of them. Then the other child gets hurt. So first what, we do is conditioning them. I'll just hold the child. As soon as the child comes to me. First few days, I will condition the child to be with me. Then I will leave it with 2 other children. Then the child moves with 4 children, 5 children. Like that, then it goes to a group of children where it learns not to hurt, sharing. Then most important is toilet training, which we don't feel embarrassed to do that, because that is the one thing which, everyone feels so bad. So we give them proper eating habits, then cultivate the toilet training, then how to share, then be friendly with others, then celebration, lot of celebration. Then one of the speakers said about empathy. Yes, I appreciate him for that, because our employees, now and then they go on leave, but we understand and we have more teachers. Suppose somebody is going on leave, I say, just inform me one day before, that's all. Don't just give me a call morning 8 o'clock and say that you are not going to come to school. That I don't like it, because we have more employees, we have alternatives over that, so be kind, considerate for the children. If the children are like that, you see, first day the child sees someone, that child starts treating that person as a mother, in fact, not even a teacher. So if that person is not there, the child becomes so cranky, and then psychologically it affects the child. So all that to avoid, we need to be at the back of the employees sometimes, but of course with empathetic situations.
She is bringing the emotional side as well as the very, very psychological or the emotion balance of that. And one thing I want to add here is multitasking as a mother, as a leader in the school. And what she does, it's amazing, is that she cooks food for them, every child, every student in the class.
Yes, sir, because...
And she makes for themselves and the students the morning breakfast. She makes lunch for them and evening snacks and completes. So that is the kind of commitment, and this madam is doing it. Why don't you explain to that?
Thank you so much, sir. See, actually, my concern when I was leaving my children in the school, first putting food in the dabba. And I always, when I was in another place, I used to think, ayyo, in the sadhana kuduthan prene, the aari avla poirkume, eppadi en kolanda chapta pordo theriliye. See, that concern is there for them. So then what I thought, when I started the daycare itself, then I thought food is very important. So then I thought, why should I not make, anyway I'm cooking for so many of us, because mine is a very big joint family. I'm proud to say that we are 11 members in our house. So when I'm cooking for them, I just cook little extra and put more love into that. And sometimes the parents' consideration, problem is, they say, ma'am, my child carrot is savda mattengran, fruits is savda mattengran, adala. But now what I do is take the apple and mix it in the chutney, grind it, and the child feels, no, it's a different taste. And I put a carrot, boiled carrot, and put it in the rasam, and the child gets carrot also. So like a dietitian, I work for them, and from 6 months to 16 years, I know the taste. Because, see, children, they don't like idli, so we make dosa for them. So getting multinational companies also under our tie-up, because of this giving food and other things, makes them very comfortable, and the mother also feels so happy that the child is under the care of another mother. That's what I felt. So I am really happy, and I am, honored to be with them. And they have given me an opportunity to forget lot of sorrows what I had, and still I have lot of instances. I can't mention it now, but they are my life, and they think that I am their life.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, madam. Samuel sir, when you are now running the factory, because when I contacted you, you were so busy, big meeting and other thing. Why don't you talk about the success you made in the factory, manufacturing, and the teams? How do you run the team so efficiently, showing, demonstrating that all elements of a human being is being respected and appreciated in every stage of your career as well as a success story.
Yeah, it is in the beginning of my manufacturing company, I could not afford expensive people. So I took people who are poor, come from villages, but they have the qualification and they were very clever people in the subject. But one thing why I got them at a very low salary is because they could not speak English. They could not communicate. So with this disability, I took on the responsibility of English and communications and took all these people with me in the company. We started about 20 people in the beginning in 1989, 1990. But some of them are still with me, and they were loyal and they had the knowledge. You see, maybe they don't know English, they cannot express, but they could actually do the job, they could do it. They could not talk, but they could do. This is how we started. Then
How big is the business and
yeah,
how many
it
people
started very small, but my experience is that, it starts very small. In the first 2 years, we struggled. 40 lakhs was the turnover the first year. And then it climbed up. For 4 years, it was under 1 crore. But then it had a leap in the 4th or 5th year. It went from 4 crores to 1 crore to 4 crores in 1 year. And then it started going, smoothly and steadily, but not very high, low, slow. Then suddenly it leaps. Again 3-4 times in 1 year. So we had 4 leaps like this, and that's why the company grew to finally 160 crores in a matter. And then more than the 160 crores, it was I just read in the papers that from 1996 to 2016, in a matter of 20 years, the Sensex had jumped 9.6 times, 9.6x. On an average, the Sensex was jumped. But our company, when we sold part of it, it was valued because it's not a listed company. We gave the shareholders from 96 who invested in my company in 96, 2016 December when they came out selling part of that, 137 times, 136 times. So that made me very, very happy. I didn't know that we had done this. And this doesn't take into account the 100% dividends which are paid every year. So, for the last 10 years. So, this was how it grew. And as I said, the growth, I used to think that it's only God and the divine presence that helped me. It's true, it is there. But like somebody said, truly, the ball is thrown at you by God, but you have to catch it and nurture it. If you miss every ball that is thrown at you, you are not going to make it. So you'll have to, take on these challenges and make it work. That is entirely within you. You have to, like he said very well about dreaming, you always dream big. Don't dream small. Mine was 100% EOU. And people used to say, how do you go and approach this large company? Unilever in England or GNC in US. But I didn't have that fear at all, that we are small, poor country, Indians. Never have that. We are equal or even better than them. I'm telling you, a lot of us are even better than the European scientists or the technologists. One of the examples that when our products are rejected by a Swiss company, for example, then we challenged them. We didn't challenge them rudely. We very politely told them, can we have a relook at this and go to an independent lab in Europe itself, Eurofins, which is recognized all over the world as one of the best testing houses. And our chemists could explain to me in Tamil, what exactly they could have done to get the wrong result. And when I conveyed it to them, they listened to it, did not believe it first. But then they went back to the international test house and found we were correct. My Tamil speaking Sivakumar, Dr. Sivakumar from Madurai University, was better than the biggest scientists in the US. He still is there with me, and he cannot still speak proper English. He cannot write an email, But all this, later on when I could afford, I took engineer MBAs and fancy people from the north and everywhere, the girl power team. We have a lot of girls who are given a lot of responsibility, and they translate, they come between the Sivakumars who have the knowledge and the ultimate customer who is very big multinational. And today we are a very, very preferred supplier to L'Oreal, to giants like Revathy, the world's largest cosmetic company is our great customer. They trust us, obey us. And Revathy, which is the largest flavors and fragrance company in the world based in Switzerland. And all our customers are, so one advice to all entrepreneurs, please only identify and sell to high quality customers. The customer quality is very important. If the customer is also shaky, he's not making profits, and you sell to them, you'll always be in a problem. Because that company is economically a failure. It's just like supplying something to Jet Airways, or Leela Group or something. They may look glamorous, but look at their balance sheet. They are sinking, and they'll drag you down with them. So never, I'm a B2B, I'm not a B2C. In fact, I was highly impressed by Nazi Lazarus. I didn't take photographs because I'm going to go to him for consultancy. I would like him to help our company because we are zero in digital social media marketing. I'm telling you, I'm going to learn from him and we are going to do that separately. So like that, many things are there which help you, like I said, the quality of the customer. Never sell to somebody who will not pay the bills, who will delay payment, who will use your goods to their benefit and they'll make the products and sell it, but they will not pay you. Like the Citibank people said, the ability and the willingness to pay is very important. Not just the ability, but willingness to pay. So please go to such customers only. Focus on such customers. Don't waste your time on other people. That's one of the reasons. So we grew quickly, and then at the 2017 beginning, I divided my company into two, a small part and a big part, and sold the big part to another company. And don't feel bad about selling a company for a high valuation, because everybody benefits. Your employees benefit, your shareholders benefit, and you can build up the small one again. We have built it up, the small one which started with 6 crores when I left them. In 3 years, now it is 70 crores. So you can always, and one more thing is I treat my company as a startup always. We are always a startup. Never think that you are an established business, because challenges keep, and if you think like a startup, which startups have to think in one way. That will take a long time for me to say that. I'm trying to write a book on that. The 10 points which startups should watch out for, and from my own experience, the 10 points which I came across and how it was sorted out. So that's how we grew and we are growing, I guess.
I really appreciate Sivakumar sir. And one side, you touched upon the divinity, God on your side. Plus, I hear that you are a giving person, you share loads and lots kind of thing. One more dimension means the circle is almost complete. Could you just add that?
Yeah, when we did not make huge profits, we could not get into the social activities because that would kill the company. But when we started making money, and we have a lot of excess money now, so we started social activities. We have done 5 or 6 like that. See, where are the costs? So one thing we find is in 5-star hotels, you are given a soap every day. A cake of soap is kept in the bathroom. You just have one bath, keep it there, they take it away and put a new bar. So what happens to these used soaps, which are high quality soaps? So we did a research and went to them, and I had a good soap man in my soap technologies in my company, and we bought a small little soap making machine from Bombay. We sent our people to collect soaps from all the 5-star hotels. By the way, I don't employ anybody only for social service. I tell all my employees, including MBAs, everybody, 10% of your time, please spend for something like this. Go yourself to the hotel, collect the soap, don't send a messenger. So, we are now doing it for the last thousands, and then we take these, re-sanitize them, re-perfume them, recondition them, make small soaps, which we give to the orphanages and old people's homes who cannot afford soaps. And we are working with some NGOs. The one problem I had in this was how to distribute the soaps. I could make it, thousands of them I had. But where do I give it? Like if madam is there, if your children don't have soap, I'd be very glad to give you these soaps. And we perfume them rose and sandalwood because that's what people like, and we over-perfume them so the children and the old people are so thrilled about it. This is one of them. The other one is that we are in a remote area, our factory, and we found a big hill in which, called Alampatti, where the tribal people were living on top. It's been featured in one of the TVs also. And there's no public transport, nothing, no power. I'll cut the story short. There's no power, so the tribal's chief told the TNEB, I don't want power because I want my tribe to live naturally. When the sun rises, we get up, when the sun sets. Now the new tribal chief is there, the government has started a nice school like yours for the tribal with one teacher, handling first class to 8th class. One teacher, one building. Then the children couldn't study in the night because there is no power. So we bought a 1 kilowatt wind turbine windmill from China, which was so cheap, unimaginable. Then we bought a battery pack from a startup man who gave it to us very cheap. Then we connected. Today the village is electrified without any power. Because the TNEB, what they told the chief is that you guys, when we gave you power, you said no. Now you want power, you don't get. See? So the tribal chief told me, sir, can you please go and influence them and get me power? I said, I'll try, but that's going to be an uphill task. It's easier to put a wind turbine and make you independent. Today like somebody said, the video, digital, Nachi, he said, we have made a video in-house using cell phones by some of the girl team, and we made it and it's ready, and we want to put it on social media, but we don't know how to do it, So like this there are, because we are 100% export oriented, we also buy raw material, raw herbs from Madagascar, Ghana and Sudan and all that. Those are very poor. If you look at Madagascar, if you go there, you'll be surprised how lucky we are. Our villages are so good. Madagascar is such a backward country. So we gave them solar lamps, 100 solar lamps. We gave them, so happy. We were featured in the local newspaper and all that for the school children to study who don't have any power. And we also contribute in US, even in a developed country like US, there are people who are suffering, who don't have good shelter, they have diseases and all that. So we support, and these are some of the initiatives. We are planning many more, and we need help from others also. Thank you.
That's a great thing. Anything, madam, to add?
Yeah. No, I can help, sir, because through our inner wheel, and we are doing very big service for them, and I can add yours also. Many people, I find that they don't have even, soaps and all that, whatever you want. You can really trust us and give us, and we will help you out for that. And one thing before I want to end this thing, I want to just say a small sentence and finish it off. Because after Sajivan sir finished everything and he asked me, ma'am, do you go to temple? Suddenly I said, why this question is asking me? Because I am very spiritual. I said, sir, why not? I really, every month, every week, I am going to here, I am going Vadapaini Kovil, I am going to, every first I will be preparing myself to attend a Abhishekam for Lord Muruga. Then one thing he said, which really put me so emotionally, this thing, and he said, ma'am, நீங்க இனிமேல் கோவிலுக்கே போக வேண்டாம், நீங்க கோவில்ல தானே இருக்கீங்க. What a feeling I went, really saw. Thank you so much, Sajivan sir. You just got back my, so much memories. Thank you so much.
So it was very good. Yeah.
One small one, for any successful entrepreneur or a startup, Your family support is extremely important. If your family is not standing behind you and support you, you cannot do. My wife was so good. She didn't have any fear when I lost all my money with a small boy as a child. She didn't know where we are going to get the next month's food money when the State Bank rejected our application. We've gone through so much, but my wife stood behind me fully confident. She never had a fear that I will lose and we'll be on the road. So, and also my other family, extended family also, my mother-in-law who really could have thought, why did I give this, my daughter to this fellow? He will have no money. But she also respected me all the time. And I am sharing this with you because I know Madam had a family support. 11 people supported her. Otherwise she could not have achieved. If your family goes against you, you are finished. So that's God's gift, I guess. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just a small line. Madam actually had a tragedy. She lost her son. And when I told her I had only one son that time, now I had more than 30, 40, 50 children, all my children only. Amazing. And the center, I think two of you have complimented the circle of success, one circle of leadership completely. Whenever you faced challenges or problems, the problems are like the predictors, reminders, opportunities, blessings, lessons, everywhere, and messages and solvable. And you have found solution, and most of your tips are much useful to our audience. Ladies and gentlemen, give him a big thank you and a big clapping. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.